And so I just want to briefly introduce our seminar speaker today, which is Tangnyu Sung. So Tangnyu is actually a postdoc in my group here and joined us back in September. Before coming to Stony Brook for her postdoc, she did her Bachelor's of Science in Information and Computing Science with, I think, a minor in applied math at North China Electric Power University, which is actually in Beijing, China. After that, she moved to Canada to the University of Regina and did a Master's of Applied Science and Environmental Systems Engineering. And then she continued at Regina and completed a PhD just last year in environmental systems engineering with a focus of her thesis on Bayesian probabilistic projections of future climate over Canada based upon using Ensemble simulations with regional climate models. And so Tangnyu's background, which is really focused a lot on looking at risk assessment and the impacts of climate change through extreme events and helping to connect that to potential applications such as management, is something that really, when I was interviewing and meeting with her, which kind of drew as a perfect application for some of the work here that we do at Stony Brook. And so while she's been here for a little over a half a year, I think she's going to focus a lot of her presentation today on some of the work from her time in her PhD program, and maybe give us a glimpse of some of the stuff that she's been working on since at Stony Brook. And just as a quick reminder, we'll have time for questions towards the end, and then we will go over to lunch as a group, and there'll be time for further discussions after that. So I will turn it over to you. Let me... Cool. All right, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tangnyu Song. I'm currently a postdoc at the SoMAS. And
the volume of unfortunately, the mic isn't working and Mark's not around, so you have to just hold this.
Yeah.
This works. The it's gonna be tethered. That works, yeah.
Okay. So it's my great honor to be here and to present my research. And my topic today is the Bayesian probabilistic projections of future climate and associated risks based on a multimodal ensemble. According to the latest IPCC report, both the intensity and the frequency of extreme rainfall events are observed to increase under changing climate conditions, which has caused significant influences on both natural environment and human society. For example, extreme rainfall events with a total amount of 622 millimeters within 24 hours hit Zhengzhou in 2021. These extreme events led to massive flooding in Zhengzhou and caused 292 known deaths and affected more than 11 million people. Although the government had invested over 80 million since 2016 in upgrading the urban infrastructure. So this may raise a scientific question that whether the current design of the infrastructure is still adequate under climate change. To answer this question from the perspectives of the climate science, the high-resolution climate projections are always needed. However, due to the complexities in the climate modeling system, there exist huge uncertainties in the climate projections. Please see the figure on the screen. This figure is an illustrative example of the uncertainties existed in the projections of the precipitation extremes. We can see the significant differences. And these uncertainties come from a variety of sources, such as the model configuration, the input data, and the emission scenarios. So how to robustly address these uncertainties from various sources is also a demanding challenge in climate projections. My research is focused on these two questions. Here is the outline of my work. It mainly includes three sections. The first one is the development of the multimodal ensemble based on the regional climate models and statistical methods. And the second part is the generation of the probabilistic projections. In this section, I developed a new ensemble approach based on the Bayesian inference and discriminant theory. And the third part is about the precipitation extremes. I use the intensity, duration, and frequency curves to describe the major characteristics of the precipitation extremes. And I also developed a new ensemble approach to better conduct the ensemble projections of the future changes of the IDF curves. Now, I would like to start with the first part of my research, the development of the multimodal ensemble. Considering the coarse resolution climate projections are hard to capture the local details of the climate, which may lead to significant simulated errors. So I used the regional climate models to downscale the GCM outputs. In order to improve the simulation accuracy of the RCMs, I conducted some sensitivity analysis to optimize the parameter schemes. And the major outputs include more than 40 climatic variables, including the temperature, precipitation, wind speed, and soil moisture, and a lot of other climatic variables. The model domain is presented in this figure. It covers the entire land areas of Canada. And all the RCM simulations are conducted during one historical period for validation purpose and 3 future periods to investigate the future changes of climate. Some of my results have been posted into a climate change data portal, the CCDP. I have posted the address for this data portal here. Actually, I'm only one of many contributors to this data portal, and many of my previous group mates also contributed their results in this data portal. Next, I would like to briefly introduce this data portal. Actually, I know most of your research are focused on the US, but if you are interested in the Canada, in the Arctic regions, or you would like to extend your research area to the whole North America, I think you can find something useful in this data portal. In this data portal, we provide the RCM outputs for multiple climatic variables during one historical period and 3 future periods. And we also provide 2 forms of data. The first one is the temporal average for annual and seasonal and monthly mean. And the second form is we provide the time series for the climatic variables. We used 3 different regional climate models, the RegCM, the WOLF, and the PRECISE to generate our results. And our regional climate models were driven by different GCM, like the HET-GEM, GFDO, and the CAN-ESM. The CAN-ESM is a GCM developed by a Canadian institution. And we also provide the our outputs for different emission scenarios. If you select after your selections, you may click the load my selection, and then you will see this map. This is an online virtualized map, and you can choose any grid cell on this map, and you will see the quantitative results you are requesting. So this is a CCDP. And in addition to the commonly used climatic variables, we also provide the data of the IDF curves to help the users better understand the major characteristics of the precipitation extremes. If you click grid cell, you will see the window looks in the figure. And in this figure, you can see the location of the grid you selected, and you will get the IDF curves like this. And you also can download the original data from the providing link for this. In general, the CCDP is a data portal and is free for downloading. It includes a large amount of high-resolution climate projections. Since it was developed on a ArcGIS-based platform, so you can see the virtualized map directly. Until now, we have received more than 100,000 downloading requests by over 800 registered users. So indicating its success in the in the information sharing of climate change. On some occasions, the resolution of the RCM outputs cannot satisfy the requirements of some engineering practice, such as the reservoir management and urban sewerage design. So in order to solve this problem, on the basis of the RCM outputs, I further downscale the RCM outputs into to generate the extra high resolution climate projections using the stepwise clustering analysis, the SCA method. This method is based on a clustering tree. So the most significant advantage of this method is it doesn't rely on the functional assumption. Actually, it's based on a clustering tree with multiple steps of the cart and merge. Due to the time problem, due to the time limit, I will not go into the method details of this method. But if you are interested in it, you can visit this website. I have posted the address here. There is a online software, and it was developed by my previous lab mate. He developed this software based on R language to help people learn and use the SCA method easily. Actually, you just need to put your original input data, and using this software, you can get the results, and you can get the clustering tree. So it's a very easily used software, and you can, if you are interested, you can have a try. Based on the developed multimodal ensemble, we may consider how to use the generated results from different models and how to interpret the differences and how to provide the uncertain climate information to the stakeholders for supporting the related policy making. In the past decades, a series of ensemble methods were developed to address this issue. They include the ensemble means, a very simple and direct method, and the linear model averaging method, and the Bayesian model averaging method. And among them, since the BMA method can add the probabilistic projection, the probabilistic information to the climate projections. They can become the deterministic values to a probabilistic one. So they are widely used. So this method has been widely used in hydroclimatic projections. On the screen, we can see the co-algorithm of the BMA method and an illustrative figure for this. The green part is the generated probabilistic results, while the blue one represents the BMA weight. It measures the relative performance of each ensemble member. The higher BMA weights mean the higher BMA weight means a better model performance. And the orange part is the PDF, the probability density function of the projected climatic variable given individual output and observation data. It's actually a conditional probability. However, there may exist some relationships between the modeling performance and the climatic conditions. These which are neglected by the traditional BMA method. This may lead to the over and underestimation of the contributions of individual models. So this further limits the robustness of the generation of the generated ensemble projections. Here is one example. Here is one example of the precipitation simulations, which can be used to demonstrate the potential relationships between the climatic conditions and the modeling performances. As shown in this figure, the model in yellow can provide promising results under warm and moist conditions, while the results under cold and dry conditions present significant biases. So in order to fill this gap, I developed a new approach based on the Bayesian inference and discriminant theory to characterize to statistically characterize this relation and try to improve the simulated accuracy and reliability of the generated probabilistic projections. This approach mainly includes 4 parts. The first step is to divide the samples into several groups based on the modeling performance. And the second one is to construct the PDF, the probability density functions of discriminant variables for each group. And the third step is to regard the global BMA weights as a prior probability in Bayesian discriminant analysis. And the last step is to refine the weights based on the Bayesian discriminant theory under certain spatial temporal conditions. On some occasions, the probability density functions are hard to obtained directly, since if we have multiple discriminant variables, so we need to so for getting the joint PDFs, we can use the one copular functions. So through the one copular functions, we can establish the relationships between the joint PDFs and the fitted one copulars and the individual ensemble members. So through these equations, we can easily get the joint PDF curves, and then we can use and this is a major step for the proposed approach in constructing the PDFs. So now you may have a question that so how to select the discriminant variables? So now I would like to use an example to illustrate it. This example is about the temperature simulations. This figure presents the histograms of the observed temperature when each climate model performs best. So we can see that the model, so the results indicate that in this case, different models performs best under different conditions. For example, the model in yellow performs better in cold region in cold conditions, and the model in green performs better in warm regions. So if we can find some difference, we can find some differences in the modeling performance, we can say that the temperature conditions is a proper selection for the discriminant variable. So now I would like to use I would like to validate my results from two perspectives, the accuracy and the reliability. First, I would like to use the mean absolute error and the root mean square error and R square to validate the projected accuracy, and use the percentage coverage, the interval width, and the ratio of percentage coverage and interval width to evaluate the reliability. Now I would like to introduce the validation results briefly. This figure shows the validation results for the temperature simulations. We can see that the proposed approach can improve the accuracy of the temperature ensemble projections, especially in the winter. And in terms of the spatial variations, we can see that the most significant improvements are observed in the Arctic regions. This one is the first row is the ensemble mean, the second row is a traditional BMA method, and the third row is a proposed method. For the precipitation simulations, we can see that the comparatively significant simulated errors are observed in the Arctic and the Western coastal regions. In terms of the validation results of the reliability, we can see that this figure is a result of the temperature simulations. We can see that the confidence intervals obtained from the proposed approach can cover more observation data within relatively narrow intervals. So that means it's more reliable. And this figure is precipitation results. That also indicates that the proposed method can cover more observed values in seasonal precipitations, especially in spring and autumn. Although the proposed approach can significantly improve the general performance of the compared with the traditional BMA method, it also has some limitations. I would like to use the summer temperature as an example to illustrate it. Please see the figure on the screen. We can see that the summer temperature, the summer temperature is significantly underestimate. And we can see that the primary reason is that all the ensemble members underestimate the summer temperature. So we can see the bottom figure here and in the orange, in the orange, oh, sorry, in the orange part. So that means the modeling the performance of the proposed approach heavily depend on the model performance of individual ensemble members. It cannot correct the bias if all the individual ensemble members overall underestimates overall underestimates the climatic variables. So based on the proposed approach, the projected changes of the future climate can be obtained. I would also like to start with the temperature. We can see that the significant temperature increases are observed, especially in the Arctic regions. The primary reason is that the Arctic sea ice would decline in response to the greenhouse gas increase. The loss of the sea ice will further decrease the albedo, which may enhance the warming effects of surface temperature. This is the projected changes of the future temperature. This slide presents the probabilistic projections of future temperature. We can see that the most significant uncertainties can be found in Arctic regions. The left figure is a probabilistic projections of the annual mean temperature for along with one longitude. So the left end is the low latitude, and the right end is means the high latitude. So we can see that the most significant uncertainties can be found in the Arctic regions. And then another interesting finding is that I found that the magnitude of the uncertainties is negatively correlated with the elevation. So I think one speculation is that compared with the highland areas, the areas with low elevation are affected more significantly by human activities. But it's just so it causes a larger projection uncertainties. But it's just a speculation. So this is the probabilistic projections for temperature. And this one is the projected changes for the precipitation. And we can also see that the significant increases can be observed in the 3 future period, especially in the Arctic regions. So both the temperature and the precipitation changes, the Arctic regions are observed to increase most significantly. So maybe this region will be more sensitive to the climate change. So now we can see a lot of uncertainties in the future climate projections, and these uncertainties may come from different sources. So to further investigate the uncertainty sources and their interactions, I use the mixed level factorial analysis. Actually, this is a statistical method to compare the in-group and between-group variances. In my study, I just assume the interannual variabilities are assumed to be the errors, and to compare. Through this method, we can determine the major uncertainty sources of the climate projections, and we can also know whether it's statistically significant compared with the interannual variability. So this is a way for us to find the most significant, the dominant uncertainty source. This is an example for temperature simulations. In this case, we can see the different choices of GCM are the dominant uncertainty source, and it's statistically significant compared with the interannual variability. But these results depend heavily on the selection of ensemble members. So actually, on most occasions, this method is only used for the sensitivity analysis. is a kind of experimental design. So if you use different, you choose different JCM, you choose different RCM, or you choose different parameter range, you may get different results for you using this approach. So after the generation of the probabilistic projections, we may pay some attention to the extreme climate events. As I mentioned in the very beginning of today's talk, the question is whether the current design of the infrastructure is still adequate under changing climate conditions. So now we can try to answer these questions. So the shortcoming of most of the ensemble methods, most of the existing ensemble methods are based on the probabilistic projections of the annual maximum precipitation time series at various durations. But most climate models are hard to provide reliable outputs of the precipitation extremes, especially for hourly data. This reduces the robustness of the ensemble projections of the IDF curve. So to solve this problem, I developed a CDF distance-based method. The major steps of generating ensemble IDF curves are shown on the screen. The first step is to extract the annual maximum precipitation as specific duration. For my study, is from 1 hour to 24 hours. And the second step is to use the GeV distribution to fit the extracted annual maximum precipitation. This is the equation. And the third step is a major step of my of this approach is to calculate the distance between the simulated and the observed cumulative GeV distributions. You can find the illustrative figure here. And this part means the CDF distance. And on this basis, I further used the BMA method to determine the weight of each climate model based on the derived distance. So we try to use the distance to determine the general performance of each model rather than use the exact hourly precipitation maximum. And the fifth step, the next step is to calculate the probabilistic projections, probabilistic precipitation intensities at different durations under multiple return period. And at this step, we can determine the corresponding risks for these precipitation extremes. And the last step is to generate the IDF curves. Next, I would like to use mean absolute percentage error to evaluate the accuracy of the proposed approach. We can see the results are shown in this figure. We can see that the yellow bar represents the results proposed approach. The blue bar represents the results of the traditional traditional ensemble approach. So we can see that the proposed approach can reduce the mean absolute percentage error under all return periods, especially when the return period is relatively long. This is the accuracy. And next, I use this ratio of the percentage coverage and the interval width to evaluate the reliability. And the results are shown in this figure. And we can see that the blue curve indicates the results of the proposed approach, while the red curve represents the results from the traditional method. And we can see that the proposed approach can improve the ratio of the percentage coverage and the interval width, especially for the precipitation events with long durations. So this slide presents the results of the ensemble IDF curves in both future and historical periods. I just select several cities for examples. So the results indicate that the IDF curves at almost all cities under all return periods present upward shifts in future climate. This is a figure for this, and we can see this one is the solid line indicates the expected values for the generated probabilistic projections, while the shaded area represents the confidence intervals for the probabilistic projections. So in summary, my major outcomes of my research mainly include first is the development of the multimodal ensemble. This part I would like to. If you are interested in the data of the Canada, you may easily access this data portal, and our results have been posted on this data portal. This one is the first part of my work. And the second one is the generation of the probabilistic projections. I developed a new ensemble approach based on the Bayesian inference and the discriminant theory. Actually, I think maybe it's hard to give you a step-by-step illustrations on and how this method works. So if you are interested in this method, you may consider to have a look of my paper, maybe, and I will very happy to answer your following questions. So this is the second part. And the third part of my research is about the IDF curves. Also, a new developed ensemble approach to improve the modeling performance of the existing ensemble methods. And actually, this is I'm currently also working on the IDF curves, and I'm extending my I'm working on extending the IDF curves of the precipitation extremes to the compound extreme events. And I would also like to investigating their relationships to the climate change induced environmental risk, such as the flooding caused by the flash caused by the extreme precipitation. At the end of today's talk, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to my supervisor, Dr. Kevin Reed, and my group mates at SoMAS, and also thank you very much for your coming and attention.
Thank you. So we have time for some questions before lunch. Kamazima?
Thank you very much. I have to come and talk to you to teach me all this stuff. I want to go back to the curve you showed on the projected changes for future climate. It had a lot of variability on the left. It had a brown kind of thought.
Oh, this one?
So, I do agree there will be a lot of uncertainties as you go further along, also due to poor data. But how do you distinguish from the errors from the true spatial variability? How do you tease them apart? You understand what I'm asking?
So you
So this could be two things, the way I see it. It could be as you go further north, because in the Arctic, there are a lot of pathways in terms you have water coming in, water coming out. That kind of introduces a lot of variability,
yeah.
right? So how do you distinguish that kind of variability, which is real, from the uncertainty?
Right, and maybe I'm just gonna add to that, which is that as you go to the pole, the right, the area that you're looking at, physical area, the spatial area is getting smaller, right? So could this also just be either related to the fact that there's more diversity there, or could it also be that the area at each of these latitudes is actually smaller, so you're just seeing more noise or calculation? Does that make sense?
Actually, I'm not sure whether I'm understanding your question, but actually, I think actually from my calculations, I think I cannot just to split the uncertainties caused by as you mentioned, the poor data, the maybe the model errors, or the uncertainties itself for the physical for the physical analysis. But I think if we would like to, as I mentioned before, if we would like to find the uncertainty source, we need to quantitatively investigate the contributions explained by uncertainty sources and their interactions. We need to design an experiment. For example, if you would like to say whether the whether one K parameter, maybe it has some physical meaning. For example, if we have one physical parameter, if we would just like to know its role in the uncertainties, we just need to control to set all the other parameters unchanged, and just to change this parameter to several levels, and to conduct the experimental design. If we would like to say, if we have several different parameters to investigate, and these parameters have interactions, so maybe we can design a larger experimental a larger amount of experiments. For example, if we have two parameters, maybe we have 2 times 2 2 rounds to say the after the experimental design, we can get the full simulation outputs, and then we can use the method like this. We can use this method to quantitatively investigate the uncertainty source, the contributions they explained by each the uncertainty by each parameter.
Could you go back to you have the plot of all of Canada? I think you just passed it.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
So maybe back one more. I think you had a bigger one somewhere, but anyways,
This one?
where you have the map of Canada.
Map.
So yeah, like here. So I think partially what Kamazima was asking, which you maybe didn't quite answer, which is that if you look at Canada, that there's more homogeneity in the land type. It's a lot of internal continent land further south, and as you go forward, right, you have a lot more of kind of smaller aspects. You have the water, you have different flows, you have interaction with sea ice, and is that, what role does that play in driving some of the uncertainty you see when you broke it down to the axes of latitude? Right, is that driving some of the uncertainty, or because it's maybe more just homogeneous further south? Is that maybe closer to what you were asking, Kamasina? So it just seems that, like, I guess the other way, maybe the way I would say it is if you could, is that, it's almost that plot is maybe is somewhat misleading in that. Sorry, I'm the one that we were on a minute ago, as a function of latitude.
Latitude. On this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that at 50 degrees north, most of your points in your regional domain are internal continent points. Where as you go poleward, there's a lot more variability in where there's coastline, it's very complex, there's sea ice, there's interaction with the Arctic Ocean. And is that what's driving more of the uncertainty? Is just the.
Yes,
yeah.
maybe.
I think that's kind of what. There was a question in the middle, yeah.
I'm very ignorant in all of this, so forgive me if my question is like a bit weird. But I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate, like the basis of all this. So why not I mean, I know generally Bayesian statistics are better than frequentist, but why not use frequentist statistics in this case? If we're analyzing something as random as weather in the context of climate change, what benefit does prior knowledge have on generating these models?
Can you speak a little bit loudly?
So like, I guess, why specifically are we using Bayesian statistics to create these models?
Yes. First, I would like to illustrate. I use the Bayesian model average because I would like to add the probabilistic information to the deterministic climate projections. That means, for example, if you would like to say the average temperature for next hour is 10 Celsius degree. If you have if you can add more probabilistic projections, maybe you can see that the probability that the temperature will be 10 Celsius degree is maybe 0.5, and you can see the in addition to the exact value, you can get a probability density functions instead of exact value. So you have more information of this, and you can get the values associated with the risk levels.
I had a question. Step 2 of your idea.
Step 2.
Slide.
This one?
Yeah. What do you think is true? Is that data? Are you fitting it to data or in step 2?
Yes, I use the GEV distribution to fit the annual maximum precipitation.
That's right. Observations.
Observations or model, I think is what it says.
Yes. Thank you for your question. Actually, I need to fit them for both observation data and the model outputs. Because actually we need to calculate the distance between the two CDFs. So that means one is the observation one and the other one is the model output. So we need to fit all the data.
It's actually a related question. What observations do you really use? For example, in islanders, there aren't that much accurate precipitation observation and the uncertainty in the observation, how do you account?
Thank you very much for your question. Actually, I didn't account the observation uncertainties in my current research. I just use I use two data sets. The first one is for the at the greatest scale is for the using real analysis data set, the ERA5 data set, and the other one is I use the station-based observation data from the Weather Canada. So these two, I have two kinds of model validation, but I conduct them separately. So I didn't combine these two kinds of data simultaneously. So I didn't account for the uncertainties existed in the observations.
So that means that to follow up on that. So that means that when you do your projections, you actually have two different probabilistic projections based upon what observations you use for validation or no? Because this step here, right, your methods of you have your GEV distribution that you've calculated from observations, whether that be station data or ERA5 gridded data.
Oh, yeah,
And
yes,
then you do a bias correction and then you do the projection.
I didn't do the best
You don't-
practice.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, that's actually related to one of the things that I'm thinking about. So you sort of show each model does better at which temperature or whatever, but then and then you didn't do a bias correction. So I think a lot of traditional method would say, oh, well, if we have bias, then we correct the bias, and so that's not
Yeah,
what you do. And so you in one figure you actually said that one of the uncertainties that if all models are biased to a certain direction, then the combination would also be
Ye-
biased.
yeah, yes, actually, it's also, I think it's also a kind of a bias correction because we combine several model outputs together but it's a little bit different from the traditional bias correction. We just to eliminate the systematic errors of just from the observation data and the model outputs. For example, if the model output is 2 cells degree higher than the observation, we just reduce the difference to the to conduct this kind of bias correction. But for the ensemble approaches, we have several ensemble members, and they have different outputs, and we have one standard. We regard the observation data as a truth to let the observation data as a standard, and we would like the model outputs close to the standard. So we use the BMA weight. Because we use the BMA weight, if the model output is very close to the standard we set, so that means we assign a higher weight for this model, and after the combination, we can get our generated results. Actually, I think it's also a kind of bias correction for when conduct the ensemble projections. So.
All right, so I think with that, we should thank Tangnyu again, and then